their ties were so tight that their voices slightly changed. And people leaning in all the time going, now, what are your intentions? You're going to go and get a good career, are you?
Now that brings me neatly to point 16. There is still a great deal of noise going on at night. Laughing, giggling, horseplay.
I had an absurd childhood in that it was surrounded by military types from as far back as I can remember, and my school was too. And there are so many men like the captain you'd never see them with their their ties were so tight that their voices slightly changed. And people leaning in all the time going, now, what are your intentions? You're going to go and get a good career, are you? And all of that, for me, it's just mimicry. It's just like a sort of amalgamation of all those absurd characters we used to sort of
course,
who were our our elders, our what do you call it when you're the people you kind of look up to. You go, oh, that's what the world's like. Okay, fine.
Course,
well, I do that, and then when I left school, it was like, oh my God, the world's not like
why
like
are they wearing
in fact, this is only a tiny percentage of the world. What on earth's going on?
Of course. And
What
these
lie
people,
have I been
would they
sold?
wear, a shirt and a full uniform in the 34 degrees?
I just remember, what I remember.
Outside.
Remember people saying, like teachers at school saying, now, of course, when you're when you go down to visit London, you must wear some light slacks, a nice, a crisp white shirt, a regimental tie. Well, of course you won't, but equivalent, a nice sports jacket with shiny brass buttons, and present yourself best foot forward. And you're like, okay, that's what you need to arrive in London,
looking around,
looking like Prince William. Hello, what do you do? Why am I behaving like a royal? This is weird. So yeah, it was a bit of a.
How did you shake that? How did you get? I mean, that could have damaged you for a long time.
It really did. No, it was just fun, sort of leaving that and going to university. And I did my first few days at university. Were like, are we allowed to do this?
I'll put my light slacks in a box.
You can take that little blazer off now. Yeah. And you don't need to wear a tie. You can wear what you want. It was a lovely feeling. But yeah, it was. For me, it's like I had to sort of, I had to take that on, and it was a nice, it's a fun thing to take on because for me, it's like an echo of a memory and and I just sort of obviously concentrate on the absurdity of that. Because I knew even when I was a kid that it was absurd. We used to laugh at these people a lot. Just going, what did he just say?
Captain, the war is over.
Is it, Alison? Is it?
Did you ever do cadets or any of those?
Oh my God, my whole life was cadets. So we used to get these visiting sort of generals and brigadiers who'd come in and go, now, it's very important that you understand the Soviet threat. I mean, they are coming. And it's like sort of 8-year-old boys looking up going, when are they coming, sir? Well, they'll be coming through the woods at any moment. So you have to be prepared.
So it scared you, Bridget?
Yeah, absolutely shitting ourselves all the time. His base origins for me are a sort of, an echo of that. And my sort of, I've got to be able to show that, and I've got to exorcise that somehow. And the captain for me is a perfect
sort of humanising monsters.
It's humanising monsters, yeah. But at the same time, he has this sort of deep humanity about him, but he was in a situation where that whole generation had to step up. Don't forget that the war was shocking and terrible and awful, and everyone had to step up and everyone had to do whatever they could, and he's done that. But he's slightly stymied by the fact that he's stuck in the country. He really wants to get stuck in.
The front row.
But of course, he would be the first one to run in the opposite direction if the Germans actually did come out of the woods. Yeah. He'd be running for cover. But of course he would, because he's just he's a delicate man,
delicate soul.
and he needs a delicate soul, and he needs born in the wrong era.